Beloved Creator, we are conscious beings. We are here in truth. In our consciousness, we cognize a truth from a lie. In our hearing a lie, we can deny it as a lie and believe it as if we heard truthful information. But as conscious beings, our soul and our spirit know the truth, that a lie is a lie. In that belief of the lie as truth, knowing it is a lie, belie is belief. The very word lie is in the word belief. True justice can only be achieved when all lies and false beliefs, prejudices, and programming are revealed for what they are, deceptions and false perceptions. We feel relief when lies are revealed for what they are. The lie in the word relief, once revealed, gives us relief from the lie. The occult, that is, hidden truths, must be bared by the light of honesty and revealed in the open. We who are gathered here are seekers of truth and will settle for nothing less. As spoken in Luke 8:17, for nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. Let it be so, and so it is.
Thank you, Charlie. My name's Ron Vroom, and I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I have a short one to read, and I'm going to read it because if I try and remember it, I'll leave stuff out for sure. It goes, property stolen by a legitimate government was returned to the heirs of the rightful owners. Possession by a pirate does not change ownership. Regardless of the fact that the German people elected someone else, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany in 1933. He was elected President of the German Republic in 1934. Germany canceled the debt for their World War I aggressions at the same time. So Germany went from brown shirts in the streets to Dachau and Auschwitz in 9 years. The Nazis in power appropriated, stole everything of value from those they wished to oppress and hid them in secret places. The ones they didn't flaunt in their villas and castles. The Nazis in power stole everything. The liberating armies of the Allies and the USSR found many of these hidden treasures. Several military men stole part of what they found and sent it home. 50 years later, the truth came out and the rightful heirs received their inheritance back from a 60-year-old theft. So, a lawful government changed into an illegal and illegitimate governance, from a republic to a dictatorship. I just read it to you. You can go read it in the history books. It's a short version, but all true. That's what happened. So that same thing happened on Oregon. It happened on Oregon November 8th, 1910, when the executive of Oregon, Frank Benson, who was Secretary of State and governor at the same time, which is a constitutional impossibility, colluded with the judiciary and the legislature to operate the state of Oregon, aka all cap version state of Oregon, as a subsidiary of the United States Inc. The United States Inc. came about from the conflagration between the states that was never a war and there was never a peace treaty and it was just an armistice. But that whole horrendous thing that happened cost so many lives, wound up with the United States of Washington District of Columbia incorporating itself, I think it was 1871, and becoming a different United States. Not the lawful, legitimate one, but an illegitimate one. And they did this through Frank Benson. They did this by placing Article 7 amended, which is the Judiciary Act of the Oregon Constitution, into the Oregon Constitution without the proper votes being counted in any of the counties. We have a booklet on our website, www.orsja.org, called Vultures, written by a guy named Milt Mitchek. It's just a small booklet, a good read if you like history. The Bar Association in Illinois sent out emissaries starting in 1906 with the thought of flipping the individual constitutional governments of the several states into de facto governance and to replace lawful government with color of law, incorporated subdivisions of the United States Inc. of Washington, District of Columbia. So everybody can relate to what happened in Nazi Germany. The history's still pretty clear. You can still find it. A lawfully elected government morphed into an illegitimate, illegal, cruel, and vicious governance. And the same thing happened on Oregon. Only it took from 1910, 112 years, to now for that vicious, cruel streak to come to the forefront. We had a benevolent form of martial law and an incorporated governance on Oregon that was pretty good. It was so good that people had a real difficult time comprehending that it was bad. If you're a slave and you don't know you're a slave and everything you do is just fine, as long as you don't do anything wrong, you never get in trouble. And the Constitution was nice, but who cared? Because nobody ever did anything that caused anybody to worry about the Constitution. Everything was just fine. I know. I had cognitive dissonance until I was 75, 2014. They had me fooled. They have most of the people still fooled today. So what we're dealing with is MK Ultra, mind control. That's what's going on. So we're taking Oregon back. We're taking the United States back. We're going to return to an original jurisdiction government of the people, by the people, for the people. Article 1, Section 1 of Oregon's Constitution. Now, here's another part that I want to bring up. On the Nazi issue from World War II. After the World War II was over, and the Russians were doing their best to capture all the smart German Nazi scientists they could, and the Brits and the Americans were doing the same thing. The OSS, which is a precursor of the CIA, imported Nazi scientists. People want to say they were German. Well, yeah, they were German. They were German Nazis. Nobody rose to the level of scientific excellence that these people had, inventing rockets and airplanes and doing all the stuff that they were doing for the Third Reich. Nobody got there unless they were a Nazi. Couldn't do it. The game was rigged, similar to the way it's rigged here. So all of these scientists and engineers with their families were imported to the United States under Operation Paperclip. Now you can look it up. You can find it. It's easy. There's been lots of stuff written on it. Now we have third and fourth generations of those people, those Nazi scientists and their families that came over here. Now, you think they stopped being Nazis just because? No, no, they didn't stop. They just were quiet and they taught their kids how to be Nazis and be quiet about it. And a surprising number of them we've seen in the last few years in the DOJ, the FBI, and the CIA. It's amazing how many German names were coming up. Mueller, for an example, in the DOJ, investigating Trump. Not that I like him, but it was obvious. And those people are still in the FBI running it. The Fourth Reich is alive and well in Washington, District of Columbia. That's the truth. So I sent that out yesterday. I got an answer back from Anna von Ritz. And she told me all about 51% of the population that immigrated was German. And she went into this whole long thing. I'm not talking about Germans, I'm talking about Nazis. There's a difference. Don't get off into the weeds on these subjects. Stick to it. You notice on this, I didn't talk about anything about Jews, gypsies, or any of the other atrocities that were done. I just talked about Nazis. And I yield. Thank you, guys.
Stop your recording.
What?
Stop your recording.
Yep.
I have a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Stop your recording. I don't want this recorded.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up.
And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.